Alright guys, Blue Comet Fan 833 back again with another video. This time I'm doing something a little different. I was recently at Trainland out in Lyndhurst, New York, and I decided to pick up some of these dwarf signals to use on the layout that I build every year. So I'm going to show you guys today how I would hook them up, but there's a variety of ways you can hook these up. You can hook them up to infrared sensors or trigger control. I'm going to wire these up directly to the track via an insulated rail via using fastrack. Now, Lionel does offer special pieces of fastrack that are insulated already, but since I have so much fastrack and it's not that hard to make it insulated yourself, I'm gonna show you also how. I already did one piece. There are a couple of tools you would need for this project. Tools that pretty much any hobbyist would need. So, soldering iron, some wire cutters, crimpers and strippers, and of course a Dremel. So I'll start with showing you how to do the track. So let me get out my Dremel. I'll be right back. Okay, so here's my Dremel. Of course, if you're a kid into this, I would recommend having an adult at least supervise you, if not having the adult do it for you. So, you're going to want to use a cutting blade that can cut through metal if you're doing fastrack. And then what we're going to do is, along one of the rails, the outside rails here, we're going to cut a small little slice with the wheel, just gently going down. Doesn't have to be wide. It's just a small little gap in between the outside rail section, so that way it's not tied together. So I'll show you that right after. Be right back. Okay. I just cut right through here, as you can see. In my opinion, it's a little wider than what I would have liked, but it's still small enough that it shouldn't matter. And there's no sharp edges, thankfully. So with Lionel fastrack, if you're just using a regular piece, especially if you're going to have a section where you have turns, Lionel does not offer any curved pieces that are insulated. So if you're going to do that, you would have to learn this next part regardless. So this metal bar here in the middle connects the two outside rails together. So you would need to take that out so that way the outside rails are separated from each other. So all you need is a small flathead screwdriver. Pry up these tabs here and here, and then you can take this bar out fairly easily. I'll show you in a second. Okay, and just like that, the metal bar has been replaced. Now, that's the outside rails are not connected to each other anymore. So this is insulated from this, and this is not connected to this side whatsoever. Now, let's go on to the main event, the signals themselves. Let me pull it out for you. Okay, so here's one of these signals. They just have a red and a green light since they're dwarf signals. They got 3 wires coming off of them. a red, a black, and a yellow wire. So in the case of how I'm doing this, the red and black wires go back to the transformer that I'm going to be using, whereas this yellow wire is actually going to go to the insulated rail on the track. So let me just do that. And since my layout isn't permanent right now, at least, to make it a little easier for me and all this wiring to connect and disconnect these signals, on the end of the wires, I have these quick disconnect. So that way I can just plug them in real easy on the fly. So let me get some wire and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Be right back. Okay, so I got some of the wiring done. So I have a red wire here, which will go to the positive or the hot on my accessory transformer. A ground wire, go to the negative or ground, again on the accessory transformer. And then what we're going to be doing right now is connecting a wire that will go from the yellow wire here to the underside of the fastrack. So underneath fastrack, there's these little terminal connectors, if you will. And right here is where the sever is between the rails. So I'm going to put the wire here on this one using some solder. So of course, again, be very careful. Soldering irons do get hot. If you're a child, either have a parent supervise you at least, or have them do it for you so you don't get hurt. I'll be back once I get this on. Okay, now I have everything all set up. So the way I have it here is we're going to operate the signal independent of track power. So even when there's no track power for your trains and passenger cars and any other lighted stuff that gets track power, the signal will light up. So in order to do that, you have a separate transformer here like this one that I have, but you have to have it phased with your track transformer. So I have the negative terminal from the accessory transformer hooked up to the negative on this transformer that I have that would apply track power. So let me apply some power to the accessory. Is it not light? And let me see what's going on. Be right back. Alright guys, so figured out what the issue. It's just the track not being level and acting up a bit. But as you can see, I have the accessory transformer turned on and the signal is green. And this is without track power on. And just to show you, I have a lighted caboose here and there's no lights on it. And as soon as the wheels go into this section, the signal turns red. Goes back to green. And this is all possible by this, because in order to do it, you just need to hook wire from negative on your track transformer to the negative on the accessory, so that way it still works. So, green light, and the car's on now. And that's a red light. All right. So that's my little how-to on how to hook up these. There are plenty of other ways to hook this up. This just happens to be the best way for how I do it. So see you guys in the next video. Take care.